banange siraba omusana nga gunkubyemu. Good morning my people, how are you today? Leero network asenga tetusumbuwa kijja bakitukolera amakulu. Good morning my people, how are you today? Kati mulaba field ye tuli maaso. Those are the fielders that are 18, 17. That's a Toyota fielder. Yes. Fielder. Yes. That's a tuk-tuk. Yes. It's used for carrying things.
Like kids.
Crates of soda, boxes. Yes. Beer, wine. And many other things. So guys, good morning. How are you today? I hope you guys are doing well today. Yesterday network yatusazeeko olwaliro terina gyeraga njirabe ebisitedde akakuba mukalabye. It has rained and rained and rained and rained. The entire night. I think it started raining at around midnight. It started raining at around midnight, and yeah, and it rained until morning. Abaina tank kati, I'm sure the tanks are full. Yeah. But how are you? Yesterday we did not talk. I tried, and I think network was cutting me off. It was cutting me off. None of you guys came back. And then when the network cut me off totally, I said, "Kadeka to so that we talk tomorrow." And today we are going to talk about the God complex. Yeah. No, I had this one all along. This is not the phone that was stolen. This is a different one. It's a different one. No, not that one. That one I just bought. I had kept this one all along. So people, what is a God complex? Hey, what is a God complex? What is a God complex? Now, for the religious people like me, this is not you becoming God. No. That's why I want everyone to define it their own way. What is a God complex? According to you, what is a God complex? What is a God complex? Up and sit down. What is a God complex, my people? Let's define it together. What is a God complex? What is a God complex? Nyombia Mark, good morning. Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Mutumba Pade, Jose M, Tusime Eddie, Nicholas Kaziwe, Paul Sema, Martha Director, Martha Academy, Namamukono. How much do you think Toyota Alex would cost at Toyota Uganda? Is the plugs, depends on the engine, but if it's the one NZ, it will probably cost you about 60 to 70k. 60 to 70,000, yeah. Because they're the same that go in my Corolla, and I think at the last time I bought them about 65k, yeah, very affordable, right? Derek Lule, good morning. Hashim, good morning. Serunjoji William, good morning. Antonio, good morning. King Daniels, good morning. JFK Arts, good morning. Chieba Samson, good morning. How are you people? Let's define the God complex. What's the God complex? What's the God complex? What's the God complex? What's the God complex? And as you define it, also tell us, is it a good or bad thing? Is the God complex a good or bad thing? The God complex. So, actually, my thingy came, the dashcam came through, and it has a bunch of things. It had a bunch of things in the box. It had the camera that both faces in front and on me, and then it also came with the rear cam. It came with the rear camera here, so I just have to move the wires along, put the camera at the rear. So and it also came with the memory card. So what am I going to be using this for? I'm going to be recording as I drive, literally 24/7. 24/7, all the time. I'll be recording as I drive. I'm going to be recording the things in front, recording my face, and recording the things in the rear. It's called a prelote. It's called a prelote. It's a 3-channel dash cam. Yeah, and yeah, that's the one I'm going to be using to upload some relaxing footage of driving on Ugandan roads. Sabugwa Medi, good morning. Jay Sekaja, good morning. Roman Rom, good morning. Travel Life Vlog, good morning. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm okay, I'm healthy, I'm not complaining. I know that whatever is going wrong will definitely be better in the future. Yeah, I always tell myself it could be worse. It could be worse, but it's not, right? It could be worse, but it's not. And that's something that we can probably thank God for. Travel Life Vlog, good morning. Matembe Abdul Nasa, good morning. So you guys, let's define the God complex. What's the God complex? What's the God complex? What do you think the God complex is? And do you think some people have the God complex? And as I'm seated right now, do you think I have a God complex? I think everyone has a God complex, and I also think that everyone needs a God complex. I happen to think that as long as you're human, and that as long as you create stuff, as long as you work hard, as long as you earn money, and as long as you are good at something, you definitely need a God complex. But when does a God complex turn out to be bad? Christopher Kohat, how are you? So what's a God complex, guys? Let's define it. You define it, then we move forward. And then I'll tell you why I thought we should discuss this. Because personally, I think everybody needs the God complex, because you are a God in your own light. You're not God, but you are a God in your own light. But I thought we should talk about it. So what's a God complex? Just define it the way you are in other life. God complex, then the went feeling. Are you sure? Ekizimbe kya Katonda. But the God complex ekizimbe kya Katonda. Guys, what's the God complex? What's the God complex? What's the God complex? Ragnar, wake up! Wake up! What's the God complex? God complex is a conviction that one has authority or that they are superior to others. Yes, thank you. Guys, do you agree with Mark? That a God complex is you believing that you have authority or that you are superior to others? Does that make you have the God complex? But what if you're actually superior to others? What if you actually have the authority? Does it still make it the God complex, or that makes it the reality? Huh? What's the God complex, guys? Let's define it. What's the God complex? What's the God complex? What's the God complex, guys? What's the God complex? What's the God complex? What's the God complex? Let's define it, and then I'll tell you why we are having this discussion on a Wednesday morning. A cold Wednesday morning after a very wet night. Let me see, where should I pass? Where should I pass? Today is a tricky day. This side. God complex, people, define God complex. What's the God complex? Sajja bavuga golf atuseka hamp ayina okulinda mpite wasobola okukasala kuba bw'atakasala ayinza okuleka hydraulic wa gearbox awo. That's the thing with golfs, Volkswagens, the low ones, Golf 4, Golf 3, Golf 5. You need to be really careful. I tell you what, Golf 3 kale kona yokutandika ne Golf 4. It's a very tricky thing. Gearbox ziri wansi eri. The same thing with Mercedes Benz. The gearboxes are really low. That when you're going through over a hump, you need to be very careful. Otherwise, cranks oyinza okujabya, and they are crank boxes ebyecover ebya wansi obuse pitch obwo. They are not actually obuse pitch, but they are made of what material? It's very easy. Name box enenyirira. Girabe. Waliwo ennyumba ezimu ze tuba tusaana twetegereze tufune inspiration. Kanyimire wano mwetegereze bantu bange. Mujja gamba sibaagaliza. Ennyumba yali ya mwamba na era yali nnungi. Kyemmanyi muyindi yagiguze. Naye yagiguze n'agirongoosa. Abasajja I like it. Obanze, I'm just a box guy. I like these hidden roof houses. But I find that he did very well. Of course, the finish is not that smart, but the house itself is actually very smart. Which I like it. I like it. So what's the God complex, people? What's the God complex? And which people do you know that have a God complex? And can the God complex be dangerous? Can it be useful? And is it dangerous most of the time, or is it useful most of the time? Yeah? omusana gwasonyeza olowooza enkuba teyatonnya kino kyonna. And I think it literally rained everywhere. It didn't just rain in one place. Lucky Mose, good morning. Moses Adams, good morning. It's the network. Abdul Nasser. Go whatever you find nga tekiri clear ngomanya network yo eri poor. Just have to go to the settings and change. Ogamenti bakulage full HD. Nze wana ekifaananyi kyenda bakiri full HD. What is the God complex, people? David OJFX. Joshua Gamba, that one feels power, ability superior to others, like Tibu Haburwa. But apparently, people have said that Donald Trump has the God complex. I like Donald Trump. Me, I have no problem with Donald Trump. Yeah. The numbers speak for themselves. Donald Trump was in office for his term, and things were looking good, and people kicked him out. There was no war started by the US during the time of Donald Trump. So yes, he's a good president, and unemployment, I think, went down as well. So Donald Trump is a god. But I actually don't think that Donald Trump has half the god complex he should be having, looking at the person he is, looking at the amount of wealth that he has. Bukenya Abe, good morning. Hajara, good morning. So the God complex is like Joshua and Mark have said, is the feeling that someone might have where they believe they are better than anyone else. That no one has a right. That no one has a right to even say anything. So this person believes that they know more than anyone, they have more experience than anyone, they are better than anyone, they can control and should control everyone. No one should do anything without consulting them, and if they do anything without consulting them, they are insulting them, and they will make a terrible mistake with their lives. Which take it. That's literally the God complex. It's you believing that, for example, when you're on the road, and I believe that everyone has had the God complex at one moment, and everyone will experience their moment. And of course, normally the God complex appears with someone when they have been going through so many challenges in their life, and all of a sudden the challenges no longer exist. And now things seem easier for them. Probably okola ebintu biba kibadde kimumenya n'atuuka nga ate kimwanguyira, babadde bamunyooma n'atuuka nga bamuwa ekitiibwa. Like literally everything was not going very well for them, and all of a sudden things are going very well for them. And then they start feeling like, oh, I can achieve anything, I'm better than anyone. It is totally normal to have the God complex. It's totally normal to have the God complex. You see Nissan Note? I think it's a Nissan Note. Okay, next work is not cool. What do you mean, Lucky Mose? Wahidi Abdul, good morning. What's the name of the song? Which song? The way Bobby Wine did to Puga shows God complex. Good example. I don't see that. You see, the thing that happened with Honorable Mpuga, if you talk about Bobby Wine doing it, you would actually be imagining that Bobby Wine makes the decisions alone, which I don't think. Which take it, I don't think he does. And I think we as Africans are used to having people that have God complexes. We are so used to it that we think everyone has the God complex. We think that people don't actually take the time to consult others. Personally, I find that it's not the proper thing. I also happen to know that there are people that actually consult. For example, me at my workplace, I might be able to make all the decisions at once in a zita, but I always consult people because I know that the outcomes of whatever decision I make will affect so many more people. They will affect more people than just me. So it's you can never find me making a decision alone, even when I can. Personally, I want to believe that Bobby Wine doesn't make decisions alone because he has a committee of people which take it. And yeah, of course we see so many leaders that make decisions alone, even when they have people to consult. So it ends up that they don't actually consult people, they tell them what to do, which is not a very good thing. Yeah, so yes, it might be a God complex, but I find that he did not actually do a God complex. Personally, I find that the way they are interpreting the law, I find that Honorable Mpuga should be stepping down. Nzenga Athanangi Bwindaba. If what they are interpreting under the law is the correct thing, then he should step down. And if what they are saying is right, that Honorable Mpuga accepts that, okay, I received the money, I was not supposed to receive it, so I did the wrong thing, then what's the next thing to do for their party to be exemplary? There are people that misinterpret our discussions that are meant to be in good faith. People interpret our discussions as being political, and they might see us as enemies, right? So apparently, in our country, there are so many people that have the God complex that believe that other people should have no right to talk about anything related to politics. That if you say anything related to politics, then you're a bad person. You deserve to be locked away. So that's why I don't want to go there. We can always discuss this in private, but we can discuss these things. But on the live broadcast, let's try as much as possible to not bring up discussions that might take us political. So actually, we can go political, but let's use examples that are not in Uganda. Let's discuss politics outside Uganda. It will keep us safe. It will keep me safe specifically, because nobody knows where you guys are, but people know where I am, and I wouldn't want to be picked up. So let's discuss politics in the US, let's discuss politics in South Africa, let's discuss politics in Namibia, let's discuss politics. Let's also not discuss politics in Rwanda. Let's discuss politics, let's leave East African politics on the live broadcast alone. Let's discuss politics in other regions and continents. Thank you very much. Munyambe kom abana bange mbakuze. It's only me who is capable of raising my kids the way I want to raise them. So anyway, the God complex. I'm going to read the comments, but guys, let's define the God complex. I'm going to tell you why I found it prudent for us to discuss the God complex today on the live broadcast. It's a very important thing because everyone will experience the God complex at least once in their life. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how humble you are, it doesn't matter how religious you are, it doesn't matter how poor you are, it doesn't matter how short you are, it doesn't matter how tall you are, how small you are, or how big you are. You are going to experience the God complex at least once in your life. And like I've said, the God complex normally appears when things are starting to work out for you. When things work out for you, you start, like I've watched a video of Robert Greene, Wonderful 48 Laws of Power, and he was saying that the God complex happens to everyone, but it also happens to mostly, the biggest example is the rappers, musicians. Let's take musicians. A musician abera unga mwavu for a very long time, and then he gets one hit song, and all of a sudden things start working out. You get? Now, when things start working out, he did not expect things to work out. They work out, he gets a lot of money at once, and then starts believing that everyone that doesn't have money is an idiot. He starts believing that he's better than anyone. He starts believing that he's wiser than everyone. He starts believing that his ideas are better than anyone's ideas. He starts believing that he's omnipotent. And I think this is something that is common with us as humans. When things are working out for us, when we are making a lot of money, we start to think that things can never go south. You see, Bruno yesterday was saying, and I reminded him that, you know what, you could actually drive that car. It's us always constantly having to remind ourselves that, you know what, you are not God. Like, you are human. And Robert Quinn was saying that rappers, when they start making a lot of money at once, they forget that they're actually human, they make mistakes. And then Robert Quinn was also talking about 50 Cent. And he said that 50 Cent will always land on his feet like a cat. Why? Because 50 Cent has been through some of the toughest moments. 50 Cent was shot how many times? He came back to it. 50 Cent has had records not work out for him. There is a film that 50 Cent did, and he was acting a man that had AIDS. And you know, when we're acting, there are things we do sometimes that there are things we do as actors to fit into roles. And this time 50 Cent had to grow very thin. But you know what happened? The movie was never successful. Some of you never even heard of it. The film 50 Cent. So 50 Cent has been through all those moments. So that's why Robert Greene was saying that, you know what, 50 Cent will always land on his feet because he has been through tough times. Now, normally when someone is going through a moment when things are working out for him, they start believing that everyone else that is not having it as easy as them, or everyone else who's not having things work out for them, is an idiot. God complex is dangerous if you are arrogant, as it will be used to oppress others. However, it's advantageous if you are humble, as it's used to help and uplift others. Exactly, but you know, the God complex doesn't necessarily mean that you're arrogant, because all people that have the God complex have arrogance one way or another. But you know, I find that you can use the arrogance positively. Now, I know when I say use the arrogance positively, it's strange. Good morning, Moses Heath. Lucky Moses Arthur, you are in art industry. Any lesson you learned from the late Ibu, Nigerian artist? I think even before Mr. Ibu, me, I know that the one person that will love you mubakazi bonna is the first wife you have. Omukazi gwosooka okuwasa nga you are nothing, ye mukazi yekka agenda okwagala. All these other women that come later will love you, will love what you have, what you can do, what you can achieve, what you have achieved, the personality you were at that time. Okitegeera kati nze nkimanyi nti abakazi gye bali, mama abani yanjagala because of who I am. Okitegeera, I was a nobody when we started dating. We went through all those seasons. Now, most of the chicks that I'm going to meet at this time, yeah, they have seen what I'm capable of. They don't even have to believe in me. They don't even have to tell me that, you know what, you can do it. Someone has already been there and told me that, you know what, Arthur, you can do this. Someone has seen me struggle, make the worst mistakes, and still stuck by me. Some people, Subaru musifuka komanya laba bwazunga, omuntu avuga Subaru yali baleta zunga ati badde no omuntu avuga Subaru olina okubanga oli ku mulamwa. Ate avuga Subaru abamunda wetuza balowooza okulinnya omuliro gwa Subaru olwoba oyize. Good morning, football tribe. So me, I learned, of course, Mr. Ibu. You guys that didn't hear what happened to Mr. Ibu died recently, and he had recently married a new wife. Of course, Mr. Ibunga ye. They said the first wife took the money, the second wife took what, blah blah blah, and all that. We cannot rule out the fact that Mr. Ibu himself made a few mistakes of his own. But we also have to understand that some of those mistakes were made because of the people that were around him. So I still don't think he died a broke man. I still believe he died having some money. But maybe he did not die as rich as everybody expected him to die in the wealth. But I think one thing that I learned from Mr. Ibu is that you should value the people that value you. All relationships are transactional. All relationships are transactional. Even the people that love you for a reason. And once you don't live up to that reason, they will definitely leave. So now I don't know when he married the first woman, but I happen to believe that for us in the performing arts or in the arts, gaining a fame, that woman said as because of the full package, your fame, your money, your influence. And I think it happens everywhere. So you need to be very careful. Good morning, Travel Life Vlog. Fathers in Africa have a God complex because even in our homes. Thank you, parents, not fathers. Parents have the God complex to the extent that bakolima no kolima. And we have even had songs made because Mzade Katonda wa wano kunsi. Me, I don't believe Mzade Katonda wa kunsi. Omzade si Katonda wa kunsi because taina chi ya creating. If we believe in God, then God created you inside your mother. So your mother is not actually a God. Abduna santi de droni. Ata ajikute brechi ku politics. Yeah. Tulinze na kubuza kala ya drone cha. Chris Fitness, good morning. Cancer Patrick, good morning. Ivan Kayuchi, good morning. And 50 Cent is the only man who faced Suge Knights man to man. Exactly. Uncle Joshua Akatengo Tekamu Ganyiza. I believe God complex is having extremely high self-esteem, extreme entitlement and arrogance. Personally, I don't see any advantage to it. Chairman Zach, I happen to believe that the God complex is good. I believe the God complex is good. Why? Because the God complex makes you believe you have a lot of power. And once you believe you have a lot of power, you can start making the right decisions based on your understanding of how much power you have. For example, let me give you an example. I have the powers to make my kids influential. I have the power to make my kids energetic. I have the power to make my kids confident. Do you know what that means? It means I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that because I have the power to either make them confident or not, I'm going to make sure they are confident. So the God complex, I find that it's a good thing. Because once you have the God complex, you realize that you have a lot of power, you have a lot of influence, and then you start using those things the right way you should be using them. So the God complex is good. Now, where does this conversation come from? A few days ago, one of us here, one of my followers here, one of our friends here, recommended me to a certain pastor in town. Pastor Bamu Bajani Bambule Morokai, the thieves came and stole a lot of things off of his car. Nabi Tumia from Dubai, Nabi Tumia, one of my followers, Oyo, Nabi Muwedeza from Dubai. Now, the pastor also wanted to buy a car alarm. So this subscriber wano, the community member namwe namba yange uyajja kuguza alarm. Now, when this pastor calls me, Nambuza Arthur, what's the latest technology of alarm you have? Okay, when he called me, yeah, he did. Hi Arthur, a friend of yours, a friend of mine gave me your number that you can install an alarm for me in my car. Yeah, and then immediately when he said, I remembered because this person WhatsApped me and told me that I've recommended to you. he told me that I've recommended a pastor to you, Omuteremu Alam Moroka. And yeah, so when this person called me, Nangamba, a friend of I had even forgotten it was a pastor. So because someone had already alerted me that someone is going to call you, Omuguze Alam. So when this person called me, Nambuza Alam, the latest technology. Nemugamba, what do you mean latest technology? Nemugamba, an alarm is an alarm. You guys need to look at me as I said this because it was interesting. So when he asked me what the latest technology I have, I told him an alarm is an alarm. Okay? An alarm is an alarm. Nangamba, no, an alarm can't be an alarm. I want the latest technology. That's when I asked him, what do you need in an alarm? And when I asked what do you need in an alarm, because it's important to get the specifics. Because for one of Uganda, a car alarm is a car alarm. Someone wants an alarm, he needs something that will make noise when a thief tries to touch the car. Not so? So that's why I said an alarm is an alarm. When Namubu was like, what do you need in an alarm? He burst out. And he said, but what's wrong with Ugandans? Ugandans, you people, I don't know what's wrong with you. Ugandans are so self-entitled. Mwine entitlement yechisiru. That's where I switched off. The Kastayaga mwine entitlement yechisiru. I asked him, where is the entitlement? Nangamba, I'm calling you to give you business. Nkukubide nkwe business. Atombuza bibuzo. Rachite mwagala kola. I switched off mze Navako because there was no entitlement in my statement. And so I asked him, I totally get what you're saying, but I want to understand where the entitlement is coming from in my statement. That's exactly what I asked him. Please make me understand where the entitlement in my statement is. Then he told me, well, guy, I'm a pastor, and I'm telling you, I don't even want to go forward in the conversation because after that, I decided that it doesn't matter whether I can procure the alarm for him. I wasn't going to sell him an alarm. They are going to be troublesome. The moment he threw the weight around, I'm a pastor, and I'm telling you, I switched off. Waserede wano kanso kembala ge mass waserede nkuba bwetonnya ndoza kana akakubona ko nkeso nyu ndoza nako nkeso nyu. So guys, conversation in which piki zobanjiddemu gye yatandikidde. Ekyasinga okuswitchingsa off, it's this gentleman telling me that Ugandans are self-entitled, but he's so entitled. Why are Ugandans so entitled? But Ugandans are so entitled. In my statement, when call a statement, no gamba ika alarm is a car alarm. No gamba that statement is being entitled. So I tried to get him to make me understand where the entitlement is in my statement. He could not. He kept throwing weight around where he has been, the qualifications he has, and I take it in the botanical calculator qualifications. Take it and so because I know so many people that don't have qualifications that are doing way better than people that have a lot of qualifications. So this is where my conversation stems from, because we as Ugandans, especially Uganda, you guys that go abroad, Bazungu, Warabu, China, Japani, when you guys come back, you tend to have that. I used to have it. I kind of have the God complex in a way, I think, but I used to have it so high. When I started going abroad, and I would be living n'abazungu bano. I think n'abazungu be naberanga musaba beranga muti the servant. I was praised. I was a performer. If you have googled me, you would know. Nze natambulanga mbazungu. Ngabulwendaga I'm literally a star. I wasn't the star, the Justin Bieber kind, but in my community, I was literally, I would be in a community of like 90 musicians, and I'm the only actor, and I was really young. And they were impressed at how I was performing. Oh, they were impressed. Oh, they were praising me. But I was in that kind of environment. And then I would come back in Uganda, and no one would see me. And having moved abroad, seeing how the other people worked back home, they are respectful, babera smart, babera bayonjo, and then I come back to Uganda, and literally everyone is almost the opposite. Tebakuma budde, abamusiba yonjo, tebamanyi kwogera bulungi, and stuff like that. When you go abroad and you come back, and also people that have been educated a lot, abagenda ne bakola masters, PhD, when you come back, ngibintu byewasoma mbitabeeri bw'ojja wano tebikola, otandika okulaba bali abantu abatabimanyi gwe by'omanyi ng'abasiru. So when this guy said Ugandans are entitled, and simply because this Ugandan doesn't know exactly what he wants, which again, the way for the patient, some border guys. Adda mu kifo ky'atalina kubeera mu patient nnyo n'abeera patient nnyo n'agenda mu kifo ky'alina okubeera patient nnyo n'ataba patient. So anyway, guys, I don't know if I make sense nti the God complex happens a lot with people that have achieved some level of success. And in Uganda, I know a friend of mine yagenda Dubai nga talinayo prospects era bwe yagenda tebyakola n'akomawo, but later on I realized yagenda Dubai yali aganoza alinye kunyonya agenda abeerekeyo mukitegeera ng'asuubira nti birikola ne bitakola n'akomawo, but I know that he doesn't feel bad that tebyakola. He learned his lesson. But I find that we fenga abantu abafunye ka level of success, and this is a reminder to you and me myself nti bw'ofuna muka success akatonotono n'ofuna ku busente obutonotono yes. Sorry, network keeps switching me off. Ngera soma comments amwe ngatuse wali mu kajjam. Okay, katusomeko ku messages amwe. Ivan Kaichi meke gamba chi